In a troubling development on the battlefield, Russia's military forces recently made a costly error by mistakenly destroying their own North Korean surface-to-air missile system in Kursk Oblast. The incident, which occurred amid ongoing operations involving North Korean and Ukrainian forces, underscores the increasing challenges and complexities of Russia's military efforts. This friendly fire mistake not only highlights the difficulties Russia faces in coordinating its military operations, but also adds to the growing list of losses that continue to strain its war efforts. In early January 2024, a significant incident unfolded in the Kursk Oblast, where Russian military channels initially reported a successful strike against Western-made radar equipment. This claim, made by Russian military sources, was quickly challenged upon further analysis. It was revealed that the destroyed system was not Western-made, but rather a North Korean surface-to-air missile SAM system, which was in Russian service at the time. The misidentification stemmed from Russian drone operators, who confused the North Korean system with a Western radar. This error highlighted critical issues in equipment recognition and raised questions about the readiness of Russia's forces to properly identify and target military assets. The confusion was further exacerbated by Russian military bloggers on Telegram, who spread the news of the supposed strike against Western equipment. However, closer inspection by military analysts identified the system as a North Korean version of the Russian Tor short-range SAM, which Russia had incorporated into its arsenal. This mix-up was not an isolated incident, as a separate friendly fire event occurred when North Korean troops mistakenly engaged Russian forces, resulting in 8 casualties from the Chechen Akhmat battalion. The root cause of this tragic error was found to be a severe language barrier between the Russian and North Korean units, compounded by inadequate communication support. Reports revealed that only one interpreter was available for every 30 soldiers, making effective communication difficult and leading to operational mistakes. The ongoing difficulties in Kursk are intensified by the region's strategic significance, with around 11,000 North Korean personnel deployed alongside Russian forces. Tensions on the ground are palpable, with the harsh realities of warfare becoming evident as casualties rise on both sides. North Korean forces have endured devastating losses, with 30 soldiers either wounded and 3 more soldiers tragically missing near the village of Kurilovka. At the same time, Russian forces have not been spared, as they mourn the loss of 8 soldiers from the Kadyrovite Chechen battalion. The human cost is undeniable, and with each passing day, the situation grows more desperate and heart-wrenching. The ongoing conflict in the Kursk region is further complicated by the broader strategic context of the war. Ukrainian forces, following a surprise cross-border raid, initially seized around 500 square miles of territory. Despite Russia's efforts, regaining approximately 40% of that land, the battle for control remains intense and fraught with challenges. In this volatile environment, the ability to coordinate forces, communicate effectively, and accurately identify military equipment has become increasingly vital for operational success. It is against this backdrop of heightened complexity that the North Korean surface-to-air missile SAM system has emerged as a critical asset in Russia's defense strategy. The North Korean SAM system represents a significant leap forward in Pyongyang's air defense capabilities, especially given the technological hurdles posed by the conflict. Designed with a semi-trailer configuration, the system incorporates both the missile module and radar unit, offering a degree of mobility but also presenting limitations in operational flexibility. As Russian forces and their allies work to navigate the difficulties of modern warfare, such advanced systems are becoming more central to their efforts to counter air threats, further highlighting the intersection of tactical challenges and technological innovations in the region. The system employs vertical launch cells, a feature common in Russian and Chinese designs, and includes an electronically scanned array and an integrated identification friend or foe (IFF) antenna. Key features of the system include radio command guidance technology, an integrated search radar system, a vertical missile launch configuration, and semi-mobile deployment capability. These advancements provide the North Korean military with a more modern and effective means of defending against airborne threats, such as drones, aircraft, and precision-guided munitions. When compared to the Russian Tor system, which shares many design features, the North Korean SAM demonstrates some notable similarities but also distinct differences. Both systems feature a similar range of approximately 12 kilometers and employ a radar system integrated with the missile module. However, the North Korean system is mounted on a semi-trailer, while the Russian Tor uses a tracked chassis, providing the latter with greater mobility. Additionally, while the North Korean system employs a vertical center mount for its missiles, the Russian Tor offers multiple configuration options for missile placement. Despite these advancements, the semi-trailer design presents operational constraints. The limited mobility of the system, especially when compared to self-propelled units, reduces its tactical flexibility. As a result, it is likely better suited for fixed-site air defense or for deployment in situations where it can be towed, limiting its effectiveness in rapidly changing combat scenarios. The radar system also resembles the Panzer S-1 search radar, though it lacks some technical elements, such as specific antennas for radio command and control, which may impact its performance in modern combat. The development of North Korea's new surface-to-air missile SAM system is a crucial step in the country's broader efforts to modernize its air defense capabilities. Historically, North Korea has relied on older systems such as anti-aircraft guns, manpads, and SA-13 platforms to protect its airspace. The new SAM system fills a significant gap in its short-range air defense, providing more advanced capabilities to counter a wider range of modern threats. This technological leap not only strengthens North Korea's defensive posture, but also plays a vital role in its growing military cooperation with Russia. The friendly fire incident that recently occurred between Russian and North Korean forces underscores the complexities inherent in their evolving alliance. Formalized by a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty signed in June 2024, the Russia-North Korea alliance has been a subject of international concern, particularly from Japan, South Korea, and the United States. The treaty's broad provisions, which include military aid, defense cooperation, scientific exchange, and economic support, aim to strengthen both nations' strategic positions. However, this partnership is not without its challenges, as evidenced by the operational hurdles faced by the Allied forces. The alliance's implications extend far beyond military cooperation, with the agreement paving the way for joint mechanisms to prevent war, collaborate in space and nuclear energy, and develop alternative payment systems. As both countries navigate these challenges and deepen their partnership, the integration of North Korea's modernized air defense capabilities into their joint efforts becomes increasingly significant, further linking military advancements with the broader geopolitical goals of the alliance. However, the alliance is far from seamless, as recent incidents have highlighted deep operational and diplomatic challenges that cannot be ignored. One of the most pressing issues is the overwhelming language barrier, with only one interpreter available for every 30 soldiers. This overwhelming lack of communication has led to tragic equipment misidentifications, as evidenced in the heart-wrenching friendly fire incident, where lives were needlessly lost. The missteps don't end there. Coordination difficulties have crippled the effectiveness of the Allied forces, with frustration and confusion running high. These operational hurdles are further complicated by integration issues with existing command structures and severe logistical struggles in joint operations, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and raising grave concerns about the future of this fragile partnership. Looking ahead, the trajectory of the Russia-North Korea alliance raises strategic concerns, particularly regarding regional stability. North Korea, already a key military supporter of Russia, has supplied approximately 5 million artillery rounds to the country, cementing its role as a primary military ally. Despite these contributions, experts warn that this growing partnership could destabilize both the Korean peninsula and the broader Asia-Pacific region. A major focus of the alliance appears to be technological exchange, with North Korea potentially leveraging the partnership to acquire advanced military capabilities, such as satellite technology and nuclear submarine expertise. The alliance's political influence is already evident, as Russia has blocked UN oversight of North Korean sanctions, further demonstrating the practical implications of their cooperation. The deployment of North Korean troops to Russia, with approximately 12,000 personnel already in place, highlights the concrete manifestation of this strengthened alliance. Experts suggest that this number could grow, with up to 100,000 North Korean soldiers rotating through Russian territory within a year. This shift in military and strategic dynamics underscores the growing importance of the Russia-North Korea alliance in shaping global power structures and geopolitical relations in the coming years. The integration of North Korean forces into Russian military operations has not only drawn attention, but also sounded alarms about the fragile nature of communication in modern warfare. The stark language barriers and profound cultural differences have proven to be more than logistical nuisances. They've become glaring vulnerabilities. These obstacles have sown confusion on the battlefield, highlighting the often overlooked emotional strain and operational chaos of managing multinational forces. It's a sobering reminder of the human factor in warfare, where even the best-laid plans can unravel under the weight of miscommunication and mistrust. One of the most pressing issues is the inadequate command structure, which has struggled to manage the integration of North Korean troops. With only one translator available for every 30 soldiers, Russian forces have faced substantial operational bottlenecks. Instead of achieving seamless coordination, this limitation has led to communication failures that hinder the effectiveness of the Allied forces. The communication challenges are felt at multiple levels. At the tactical level, the limited ability for real-time coordination has caused delays in response times. At the operational level, delayed command execution has weakened the responsiveness of the troops. On a strategic scale, these issues have led to reduced overall force effectiveness, as the alliance is unable to leverage its full potential due to the fractured communication systems. Another area where communication failures have had a severe impact is in equipment recognition. For military operations to succeed, precise communication is necessary to ensure correct identification of equipment and to maintain battlefield awareness. However, Russian forces have struggled with equipment identification, which led to friendly fire incidents. In an attempt to address this, the military has begun teaching North Korean soldiers around 100 key Russian military terms to improve their understanding. Despite this, key challenges persist, particularly with combat operations that demand constant and specific communications, limited exposure to modern warfare tactics, and insufficient training in equipment identification. These difficulties have further strained the coordination between the forces. The Russian military has faced challenges in effectively integrating North Korean troops into their existing command structure. With these issues compounded by differences in military practices, limited battlefield experience with modern tactics, and cultural differences that influence decision-making, North Korean soldiers also show limited familiarity with the evolving tactics used in Ukraine, requiring extensive on-the-job learning. This steep learning curve has put additional strain on operational effectiveness, potentially compromising the overall success of missions. In response to these challenges, the Russian military has resurrected Cold War-era strategies, particularly the formation of Operational Maneuver Groups, OMG. This approach assigns North Korean forces to specific roles that require less complex communication and coordination, reducing the impact of the language barrier. However, despite these adaptations, intercepted communications reveal that frustrations persist among Russian troops regarding ongoing command and control issues. As a result, military planners are now reassessing their approach to multinational force integration, with a renewed focus on improving basic battlefield communication protocols to ensure greater cohesion and operational efficiency. North Korea's military support to Russia has entered a new phase, characterized by extensive transfers of both personnel and equipment, solidifying a comprehensive military aid program between the two nations. This evolving partnership has significantly expanded, with North Korea providing substantial military resources to aid Russia's efforts in its ongoing conflict. The scale of North Korean military aid to Russia is considerable. Russia has received approximately 13,000 shipping containers filled with military equipment, showcasing the magnitude of the transfer. Among the items delivered are 5 million rounds of artillery shells, over 16,500 containers, and more than 65 missiles, which have been launched at Ukrainian targets. The equipment is being integrated into Russia's existing arsenal, with notable deployments at the Tikhoretsk munitions storage facility, which serves as one of the key locations for storing these supplies. Additionally, Russia has established 3 major storage facilities for these supplies, further ensuring the readiness and supply of necessary equipment for the ongoing conflict. In parallel with the extensive equipment transfers, North Korea has also deployed significant numbers of troops to Russia. Currently, approximately 12,000 North Korean soldiers are stationed in Russia, with the initial wave consisting of 1,500 Special Forces personnel. A secondary deployment brought an additional 10,000 troops. These forces are primarily made up of elite units from the 11 Corps, also known as the Storm Corps, who specialize in infiltration and infrastructure sabotage. Their training is taking place at key locations such as Primorsky Krai, Khabarovsk Krai, and Amur Oblast, areas that serve as bases for preparing North Korean forces for operations alongside Russian troops. The supply chain for North Korean military aid is complex and highly organized, ensuring a steady flow of resources to Russia. The primary route for transferring these supplies is maritime, with shipments moving from North Korea's Rajin port to Russia's Dunai and Vostochny ports. Military analysts have tracked 25 documented visits to Rajin for loading munitions, and 19 dark vessels have been operating with disabled automatic identification system AIS transmissions, a tactic used to avoid detection. Once the supplies reach Russian ports, they are distributed via rail to storage facilities, with 3 key locations being Tikhoretsk, Mozdok, and Yegorlikskaya. In exchange for providing this critical military support, North Korea receives considerable economic and technological benefits. Russia reportedly compensates North Korea at a rate of USD 2,000 per soldier per month. Additionally, the partnership includes technology transfers, potentially including satellite and rocket technology, further enhancing North Korea's capabilities. This highly efficient and well-coordinated supply chain and military cooperation reflect the growing strategic relationship between Russia and North Korea. Key components of the logistics network include Russian cargo vessels, such as the Lady R, the Angara, and the Maria, which have been identified as central to transporting these supplies. The increasing depth of this partnership signifies not only a strengthened military alliance, but also a significant shift in the geopolitical landscape, with both nations leveraging each other's resources to advance their respective interests. Modern battlefield technology identification has become increasingly complex, presenting unprecedented challenges in distinguishing between friend and foe. With rapid advancements in military technology, the U.S. Department of Defense has invested heavily in artificial intelligence, AI, to address these challenges, committing approximately $1.8 billion in fiscal year 2024 alone. This investment supports over 685 active AI initiatives aimed at enhancing military capabilities across various domains. A key challenge in modern warfare is accurately identifying combatants and equipment on the battlefield. The Department of Defense's unclassified AI investments have grown significantly since 2016, when they were valued at $600 million. These investments primarily focus on improving intelligence and surveillance capabilities, logistics, cyber operations, command and control systems, and semi-autonomous vehicle development. However, the integration of narrow AI into military applications has introduced new complexities, such as algorithmic bias. For example, facial recognition programs have been found to exhibit racial bias, while natural language processing systems often demonstrate gender-based prejudices, highlighting the need for more sophisticated and unbiased AI technologies. Another significant challenge lies in training military personnel to correctly identify equipment. The Combat Identification Training System, CITS, an initiative by NATO, is one effort to address this by providing web-based vehicle recognition training. Despite these advancements, training gaps remain, particularly in areas like visual recognition, where there is limited exposure to diverse equipment, and the interpretation of thermal signatures, which can be complex in varying environmental conditions. Additionally, night operations present a challenge due to reduced visibility, while cross-platform integration issues make it difficult to ensure compatibility between different systems. The issue of incorrect combat identification is not solely due to technological limitations, but is often exacerbated by human factors. Before deployment, personnel must master several recognition systems, including InSight and the recognition of combat vehicles (ROCV) to effectively identify targets. Technological advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning (AI, ML) may revolutionize battlefield identification shortly. One promising solution is the Aided Threat Recognition from Mobile Cooperative and Autonomous Sensors (ATR-MCAS) system. This system utilizes a network of air and ground vehicles equipped with advanced sensors to identify and classify potential threats, geolocate entities and obstacles, aggregate target data for analysis, and provide recommendations based on a combined threat picture. By processing image data through AI/ML techniques, ATR-MCAS requires significant computational power, particularly at the tactical edge. As these systems evolve, they will help build more accurate AI/ML classification models, improving battlefield awareness and enabling smarter, more informed decisions. To guide the development of future AI-based identification systems, the Defense Innovation Board has adopted 5 ethical principles: responsibility, equitability, traceability, reliability, and governability. These principles aim to address current technological limitations while ensuring that AI technologies are implemented responsibly and effectively, ultimately improving battlefield coordination and decision-making. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has exposed significant weaknesses in Russia's military structure, creating valuable opportunities for Ukraine to exploit these vulnerabilities. As the war continues, military analysts have identified several critical areas where Ukrainian forces maintain distinct advantages over their Russian counterparts. One of the most notable weaknesses of the Russian military is its operational challenges. Many Russian units are operating at only 65 to 70% of their intended strength, which has severely hampered their combat effectiveness. The Russian military has suffered approximately 1,200 casualties daily during its autumn eastern offensive, further undermining its ability to sustain prolonged operations. Key vulnerabilities include a highly centralized command structure, which results in slow responses to rapidly changing battlefield conditions, and understaffed units with low morale. Additionally, the degradation of military equipment, coupled with maintenance problems, has further strained Russian forces. The inflexibility of Russia's strategic planning and its inability to adapt quickly to the evolving nature of the conflict has only exacerbated these issues. Air defense has been another significant vulnerability for Russia, with its systems increasingly strained by sustained Ukrainian attacks. Ukrainian strikes have disrupted between 12 to 14% of Russia's refining capacity, exposing weaknesses in their air defense infrastructure. Russian forces are struggling to coordinate air defense responses, maintain situational awareness, integrate new equipment effectively, and manage multiple threat vectors simultaneously. These deficiencies have resulted in several instances of friendly fire, further highlighting the systemic issues in their defense capabilities. On the other hand, Ukraine has maintained several tactical advantages in the conflict. Ukrainian forces have mobilized the entire nation for national defense, with substantial support from the United States, which has provided $13 billion in funds and equipment. The Ukrainian military has demonstrated superior flexibility, allowing local commanders to make decisions quickly and adapt to rapidly changing situations. This decentralized approach contrasts sharply with Russia's rigid, centralized command structure, which often hampers swift battlefield responses. Ukraine's forces also benefit from what strategists call interior lines, which allow them to position forces centrally and take advantage of divided enemy units. This strategic positioning has enabled Ukrainian commanders to isolate and defeat different elements of Russian defensive forces, maintain pressure across multiple fronts, and exploit tactical opportunities as they arise. Despite the resource constraints, Ukrainian forces have maintained operational effectiveness, with estimates suggesting that Ukraine requires approximately 75,000 to 90,000 artillery shells monthly for defense operations, and up to 200,000 to 250,000 shells for major offensives. The integration of North Korean troops into Russian forces has introduced additional vulnerabilities. Language barriers and coordination challenges have led to significant communication difficulties, with only one interpreter available for every 30 North Korean soldiers. These issues have contributed to multiple friendly fire incidents, further undermining Russia's operational effectiveness. Looking ahead, Ukraine's military strategy will continue to focus on exploiting Russian weaknesses through a combination of deep strikes and tactical maneuvers. The adaptability of the Ukrainian command structure, along with the support of Western allies and extensive training, positions Ukraine to maintain tactical superiority in critical operational areas, continually countering Russian artillery and air power advantages. Tracking military equipment transfers between Russia and North Korea has become a significant challenge for international monitoring organizations. The scale and complexity of these transfers have exposed major gaps in global oversight capabilities, complicating efforts to enforce arms embargoes and monitor the flow of weapons. Intelligence reports have revealed the magnitude of the issue, with approximately 7,000 containers transported between North Korea and Russia, carrying over 1 million ammunition shells and Grad rockets. However, the challenges extend far beyond tracking the sheer volume of military equipment. These transfers often operate through intricate procurement networks, such as fake companies in Hong Kong and stolen funds used for purchases via Central Asian intermediaries. The equipment crosses borders, primarily through China, making it difficult for monitoring agencies to keep track of the shipments. Furthermore, sanctioned shell companies are rapidly replaced, further obscuring the trail. A key problem lies in the fact that manufacturers often sell components to distributors in bulk, making it nearly impossible to trace the final destination and end users of the equipment. The monitoring of these transfers is further complicated by a lack of technical capabilities. The disbanding of the UN panel responsible for monitoring sanctions violations has significantly impacted the ability to document, verify, and track military transfers. Access to transfer records is limited, verification efforts are hindered, and tracking technology remains inadequate. The scarcity of monitoring personnel and resources only worsens the situation, with international transparency diminishing, particularly when it comes to recipient countries that lack a history of oversight. International oversight faces additional hurdles. UN Security Council arms embargoes, while legally binding, are increasingly ineffective due to varying interpretations of what constitutes arms and the lack of universally agreed-upon definitions. Furthermore, many arms suppliers and recipients are unwilling to provide transparent information, complicating the ability to monitor the transfers accurately. The situation is made even more challenging by the fact that the expertise and technological capabilities of the recipient countries are difficult to assess, and the commitments made by companies regarding local development remain concealed. Russia's position as both a UN Security Council member and a participant in the arms transfers further complicates enforcement. Moscow's role in violating sanctions it previously supported demonstrates the intricate political and logistical issues in addressing such violations. The challenges extend beyond simply tracking equipment. They include monitoring modifications to equipment, identifying dual-use technologies, verifying technology transfer agreements, and ensuring compliance with end-user regulations. The international community's ability to track military equipment has been further compromised by the evolving landscape of the global defense market. Transformations in this market have led to greater opacity in arms exports, requiring new tools and approaches to monitoring. Although the CIPRI Arms Transfers database has emerged as a vital resource, providing consistent data about major weapons transfers, it still faces limitations in tracking all weapons and military equipment due to a lack of public information. Additionally, various types of military activities, such as arms leases, gifts, donations, and technology transfers for arms production, remain poorly defined or inadequately regulated, making them difficult to monitor. These gaps in oversight create significant challenges for the international community in maintaining accountability and transparency in global arms transfers. In conclusion, while there has been some progress in developing monitoring mechanisms for arms transfers, the reluctance of states to relinquish control over this process continues to hinder global oversight efforts. Differing attitudes toward arms exports, even within established frameworks like the Wassenaar Arrangement, only add to the complexity of the issue. As the international community navigates the delicate balance between transparency and national security, the future effectiveness of arms transfer regulations remains uncertain. How do you think global cooperation can be strengthened to improve oversight and ensure accountability in arms transfers?